Hello Gemini, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, 10 of discs. That's a good one. Let's see where that goes. Let's put that into some context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I lay these cards out, I also want to say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. So finishing up the path of the serpent here, got some really good energy going today. Really, really fantastic energy. Let me see where we're at on time here. All right. Mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use Rider-Waite-Smith. I started keeping a stopwatch while I do these readings because otherwise they might get into like an hour, 2 hours long. So I try to keep them a little bit short, and the best way for me to do that is to kind of have a stopwatch running in front of me where I can see how long we're getting in the reading. Mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card is going to go right over here. We're not going to look at it until the very end. Hopefully that will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. So, you are a wealthy, wealthy person. I think that you are wealthy not so much in terms of finances, though I think finances are included, especially with the other earth energies that we have. I think this kind of has some different layers to it. I think right on the surface, yeah, you're going to have this a very successful week. I think you're going to have a restoration of any kind of loss that you may have recently experienced, okay? And I think this is financial. I think financially everything's going to be made whole. I don't know if you lost money in the course of a divorce, a breakup, some kind of a loss of a job perhaps, but there was something going on that you really had a strong emotional connection to. Two of Cups here, love. You lost something that you loved. Could be a person, could be a job, could be a plant, could be a pet. It could be a purpose, right? I feel like you're getting that back this week, in the next few days, maybe the next 7 to 10 days. So there's this sense of you being made whole, okay? Now, I think that you're a very positive person. I think that you have a great sense of economy, you know? I think if this was a loss of some financial amount, I think that you've adapted. I feel like you've just learned how to make it work, right? You've survived. But I feel like this week you're going to see this be returned to you. You know what I mean? I feel like you've kind of already adapted to the situation, but whatever this loss was, it's going to come back, right? You're going to be restored to a previous state, but perhaps to an even better state, okay? Now we see a lot of major arcana going on here. See 1, 2, 3, just right here in the path of the dove here. So whatever this loss was, underneath it all, we see the Prince of Discs. You've worked harder, right? Something happens, we have an expense, we have a loss, we maybe lose some income or something. Well, we've just got to just work harder, right? We've got to make up for that. I almost feel like the universe is responding to this very positive effort that you're making and bringing in all of this major arcana energy, which is kind of has this triangle shape, and it seems like it's just acting as the capstone to all of this effort that you're putting in, okay? I do want to emphasize this Two of Cups, though. This was something that you felt a deep love and connection to. Okay, so I don't want to just focus on the financial aspect of it. It could be the loss of a loved one, the loss of a relationship, a plant, a pet. Could be the loss of a job, a loss of this sense of meaning and purpose. Okay. The financial component, I think, is a side issue, if that's even a factor here. It might not be. But what you've done is you've stuck to your routine. You've tried to work through the pain of this separation by just taking care of your business, being responsible, doing your routines, living your life, And I feel like now something is coming your way. It's almost like the universe is bestowing some of these blessings on you. And the first one that we see is this Jupiter energy, the Wheel of Fortune. It's almost, you spin the wheel and you're going to land on a prize, right? Whatever is coming next, whatever form it takes, is kind of a gift, right? It's almost the feeling that every moment is a gift if we look at it that way. So we're really, we're experiencing this loss and this separation. But in every moment we're having new love, new union. We're being given the opportunity to find new connections. Okay? And I think this is your attitude, I think this is part of what makes you special, is your ability to think, okay, this is painful. I don't like this experience, but I know this is part of life. You're very, very thoughtful, very insightful. And I feel like there's kind of this idea that everything does happen for a reason. And whatever this reason is, you will soon understand and you will soon discover the reason. It could be you've been separated from this thing that you love because there's something greater. There's a greater love that's meant for you. There's something that truly has more meaning for you. Maybe this moon card is the answer. Maybe what we thought we were so in love with, what we thought was meant for us, was we were so connected. Maybe that wasn't really as accurate as a perception as we thought. It's the moon energy. A little bit of confusion here. So we can think, well, gosh, if this was meant for me, if this was my destiny, why did it get taken away? Well, the solar disk is bringing that light. The beetle of transformation is bringing the clarity, right? So there's something that needs to transform in you. There's some growing that we need to do. And I think that will bring the clarity to understand why these things happen, right? Were we incorrect in our perception of this thing, whatever we've been separated from? Were we wrong in thinking that's what we needed, that's what we were meant for, that's what we, was our destiny? Because I feel like it was a relationship or like a job or some kind of activity or something that we were really connected to. And we're trying to understand why it was taken away. Now, this could be a loved one that was taken away. And you have my sincere condolences if that is indeed what happened. I feel like you're looking for the reason. You're looking to understand. You want the clarity. You want to understand why this has to be this way. Right? And I think that understanding, that clarity is going to give you back this 10. It's going to give you back this 10 of discs. It's going to make you feel whole again. The universe takes away, separates, but also provides opportunities for new unions, coming together with something else. So you will be restored, right? And that is in large part due to your own will, your own activities. You didn't just lament and wallow in pity and quit. You continued doing your work, doing your activities, living your life, waking up each morning and doing your routine. With the Prince of Discs here. And again, I think the universe is responding to that. And responding up here at the top with this devil energy. And this is almost as if the the situation, the separation that we've experienced is motivating us even more, right? Because these two cards are at the top and the bottom of the vertical axis of the path of the dove. So underneath it all, you've got this ethic. Even with this separation, you still wake up every day, you do your responsibilities, you take care of your routine, etc. In other ways, you're looking at this situation as a motivating force. Well, damn it, I'm just going to try harder. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to put myself out there even more. I'm going to do better and better and better. Right? And that's that devil energy. This is that goat that can climb the tallest mountain. Right? May not look like much, but it's going to get all the way to the top. This is that ambition that says it doesn't matter what kind of terrain, it doesn't matter what the obstacles are. I'm going to make it all the way to the top. Right? And I think that in a very kind of energetic way is what's going on within you. And that's kind of the transformation that we're talking about that is leading to this clarity. Now this moon energy is going to give you a little bit of an understanding about what is happening to you and why and what it means. Why were you separated from this thing? Right? Now, on the path of the serpent, we see the understanding in terms of this three of cups. The understanding of the emotional aspect of it. We understand why we were separated from this. It's so we can unite with something even greater, with a greater energy. Now, I'm not saying that you got out of a relationship because now you're going to get into a better one. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm talking more energetically, more internally, more emotionally. Not emotional in terms of just our feelings, we feel good, we feel bad, but in our experience of the world and how we value that experience, how we feel connected to those experiences. Right? And this is real abundance here. So you're going to end up feeling through this work, through this transformation, this clarity, you're going to feel that even though something was taken away from you and you were separated from something, you have even more abundance around you, right? So we're going from this state of being separated from something to then being restored in a way that we're overflowing with it now. And I don't know what exactly we're talking about. Again, could be a relationship, could be a job or a source of income or an object even, right? I'm almost getting the sense that there is an object involved here. I am seeing something falling from a shelf and I'm hearing the sound of like glass breaking. I don't know if that has anything to do with this loss, or maybe if that was just a detail surrounding this entire situation, maybe. If that brings anything to mind for you. Okay. So anyway, I feel like the situation is really leading to a lot of spiritual growth for you. A lot of things are changing within you. You're starting to look at life and love and loss in a new way. Okay. The next card we see is this Hermit energy. Now the Hermit energy is, in some ways, you're wanting to take some time away from the world and process all of this information, all of this energy, all these feelings and this emotion. So you kind of want to withdraw from the world, but you don't. You have this devil and this Prince of Discs. You're waking up every morning, you're doing the routine, you're doing your work, you're taking care of your responsibilities. Though internally you might be a little bit isolated so that you can process everything that's going on, so that you can look for that solar disk. Now that solar disk that's going to bring the clarity is the same lamp that the Hermit is holding, and we're looking within for that. And that is the light of God, Goddess, Deity, higher self, higher soul, guardian angels, spirit guides, all of that stuff. That's what we're looking for. So even in the routine of your busy daily life, you're turning your attention inward to find the meaning for all of this. It's kind of the meaning of life, right? And what we see next is this Two of Wands. This is a real struggle against some things sometimes. This is the anger over the separation. This is feeling, this is one of the stages of grief, right, is anger. I think with the Two of Wands, we're getting a little bit angry that things can be taken away from us. You know, and thinking about it like that kind of sounds kind of childish, right? But who are we in the eyes of the universe but the children, right? I mean, we're still learning and growing and trying to adapt to this strange, mysterious universe that we find ourselves a part of. So in some ways, we are always going to be children, and we're going to get mad when things we love are taken away because it's mine, right? So this is something that we struggle with. We struggle with this idea that it's mine and it was taken away from me. And that, I think, furthers our sense of separateness, of being two, instead of being the one wheel, being the one, just, we're part of this whole. We're part of this universe. We are the universe. There is no separation. The separation is in perception. The final card in the path of the Serpent is showing the unity kind of in the multiplicity, right? With the Princess of Discs here. This is about the fecundity of nature, the prolific production of new children, right? New experiences, new things to be taken away, new things to be separate from each other. But in that process, there is unity, as in we are all part of this lovely biological machine, this spiritual machine. So I don't know what the answer is. You know, I think I am just as much on this path of understanding as you are. And we've all experienced loss to some degree or another. We've all had things taken away from us. You know, I think we've all been a little bit mad when that happens. But we have to try to look at things in the bigger picture. The bigger picture of nature and of universe, of spirit. Right? In the midst of nature, it may look like there are billions, trillions of separate things. But this part of the inner work is to reconcile all of those billions of separate things, maybe one thing at a time. Realize that we're a part of it. It's a part of us. There is no distinction between the two. I want to go to the mystery card now. This is a bit of a strange one today. I'm feeling a kind of a strange connection with Gemini for the last couple of weeks. So I think that's kind of playing out in some of these readings. I think Geminis are undergoing a very significant development, or some spiritual growth is taking place in a way that can be a little bit confusing, a little bit daunting. You know, so we need this clarity. We need experiences like this. Even something simple as losing our car keys can be an existential event, can be a philosophical pondering, can be a spiritual experience, you know, or a spiritual enlightenment. Now we see a seven of discs. So this really, you know, we were talking about kind of pondering nature and seeing the multiplicity in nature and the billions of separate things and wondering, what does it all mean? How are we all connected? And so that's kind of what's reflected here. And we're looking at these things, either relationships, people, in this case plants, or these discs, these separate units of existence. And maybe we're thinking, these are mine. But if I feel like I possess these things, they're separate from me, but I possess them, that creates this opportunity for them to be taken away. That creates the opportunity for pain and sorrow of loss. Right? So this is an interesting, we need to meditate on the Seven of Discs, I think. The Seven of Pentacles. Because this is the loss. This is the loss that we are inherently creating for ourselves when we perceive things as being separate from us and we perceive ourselves as possessing one of these separate things. So this is something that I'm going to meditate on. Maybe you'll leave me some comments and let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, and if this is resonating with you in any way. This is a little bit of a strange one. We are going to do an extended though, so if you'd like to stick around for that, please click on the link that's right up here. And then you can have access to all of the extended readings. Okay. This was your weekly reading, Gemini, on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Thank you so much for letting me read for you.